The global food crisis was the subject of a heated three-day meeting of world leaders in Rome. Representatives from 183 countries signed a declaration on June 5th to increase investment in agriculture, strengthen global relief, and hold further trade talks, as initial talks proved contentious. United Nations Secretary Ban Ki-moon called on all nations to ease agricultural export restrictions. Kenyan Agricultural Minister William Ruto seconded his call and urged that protectionist policies be done away with.
I think the rich countries, the developed world, should instead open their markets and remove restrictive regimes and protectionist regimes. And in fact, the same way they have a loyal market for their produce in the third world, the industrial produce, they should be reasonable enough to open up their markets so that agricultural products from the developing world can find their place in their markets.
While some leaders asked that trade restrictions be reconsidered, the United States has refused to consider lifting its trade embargo on Cuba. Argentina also resisted efforts to discuss easing export restrictions, as it has imposed a hefty tax on key agricultural exports. Leaders and representatives from the hardest-hit nations expressed their frustration over the weakness of the final declaration, which was watered down to bring all signatories to the table. Concrete strategies to address concerns over biofuel production and export restrictions were not included.
The food crisis which the world faces today is so serious that it would be disastrous for the survival of mankind if the conclusions reached at this historic summit suffer the same fate. It is our fervent hope that for once the rhetoric will be moved to definitive action.
While Ghana pushed for firm commitments from participating nations, U.S. Agricultural Secretary Ed Schafer backed the U.S.'s stance on resisting agreements that would counter U.S. trade policy.
No agreement's better than bad agreement, always. If nothing else, nations came together to recognize the problem.
Though this back and forth is not unusual at world policy summits, the urgency of the crisis has caused a great deal of concern worldwide. Millions teeter on the verge of starvation, and millions more make the hard choice to sacrifice other necessities in order to put food on the table.